Welcome to the Do Good Work podcast, where do good work is a way of living, where we highlight the hidden inner beauty behind the struggle to achieve a new level of excellence in all areas of your life. Today, we're going to be focusing on business, career, and sales. So, if you're in business right now, probably the odds are, I'm not a fortune teller, but I can guarantee these odds, that 99%, I couldn't read it, 99.99% of businesses like yours need sales to survive. So the odds are you need sales to survive. What I want to do in this episode is actually address the issue of a dry sales pipeline by focusing on productive profits frameworks. And why I want to focus on the frameworks is because if you get this right, and I'm not going to say it's inevitable for you to fail, but it's going to be very hard to fail. Like, let's just put it out there that if you get this right, you do these actions correctly, you're setting yourself for success and designing to win. So, yes, I do believe you can design results. So you're going to want to listen very carefully to this. So the first thing that you need to do is grab a piece of paper, open a Word doc, however you take notes, but you want to identify what are the most important metrics in your sales process. And we're looking at metrics here. Do not look at your tactics, your strategies, your funnel. Just look at the metrics. What is the most important thing in your sales process in terms of metrics? Is that your lead count, your qualified lead count, your sales conversations, the proposal sent out? What are the actual outcomes that you can measure? And we just want to focus on the things that you can measure and that you can influence right now. Don't get too caught up in the micro metrics like click-through rate or open rate or whatever. We need to count the actual numbers that matter, that drive the business forward, and that you can influence. Because the next step, second step, is to outline the activities that actually drive these metrics forward. Now you can start talking about the strategies or tactics that you're employing. For example, if you're looking to employ a higher lead count, what activities are you doing to increase lead counts? Are you doing direct response advertising? Are you doing magazine in-ad ads? Are you doing guest podcasting? What are you doing to drive that number forward? List out every single activity for every single metric. So that means that you will have probably, most likely, 5 to 8 different metrics listed out. List those out horizontally, and then vertically under each metric, list out every single action. And if you don't have an action, well, then you might have found a solution to why you have a dry pipeline. However, once you do that, now the next stage, this is a very important stage, this is easily overlooked, is who in your team, in your company, is responsible for every single action. So that means that next to each action, there needs to be a name. There needs to be a name to each action. And I'm going to go even further. Is there a proprietary signature way to perform each action? And do you have that written down so that whoever is taking ownership of that action knows how to do it? Because the other question is your team just winging it? And you're like, well, why don't we have sales? Oh, because you've been winging it, that's why. So let's look at this. The most important metrics horizontally, vertically all the actions, next to the action, the person in charge of that action, and then next to that person, the process to execute that action. Now, here's where it gets really interesting and really fun, because that process may not be proven. Some might be proven, some might not. And when you identify, hey, this is not a proven process, then you can start testing and you can start identifying, what should we test? How can we improve this? What can we do to make this better? And when you solidify that and you focus on just the most important metrics, and you solidify the most important metrics from, let's say, the initial lead to qualified lead to sales conversations, once you start improving that, then you can therefore increase your conversion rate in sales and increase the number of revenue that you're producing. And here's a good question. The question is, well, Raul, let's say I have 8 metrics. Where should I start? Typically, there is a conversion rate from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3, etc. I would start with the biggest drop off in conversion, meaning that this is, again, simple math. And I apologize for the simplicity of this example, but just to make it really easy, let's just say that one of the conversion rates is from a lead opting into a form to a lead scheduling a call. Let's say the average industry baseline for that conversion for your industry, let's just say, is 15%. Again, examples, simple numbers. Let's say it's 15% from a lead opting in to booking a call with you. Let's just say it's 15%. From there, if your conversion rate is 3%, then you know, okay, what can I do to make this at least industry baseline? And that might be too high. You might be hearing like, well, that's a high number. Or that might be, hey, if 3% is actually pretty good. Again, this is just an example for you to identify, where is my drop off? That's where I should focus first to strengthen. And then once I create something that's at least somewhat proven and producing results, I can focus on the other areas that are weak. Once I do that, then I can take a second iterative approach and reinforce what's working to make it even better. And that's a continual approach that will take time, will take effort, but it also literally isn't rocket science. I just explained this in 7 minutes of a podcast. So that's the first step, to focus on productive profits frameworks, to look at how to increase sales. But not only that, you can do this process for every single action that's important for your company. We can dive into that in another episode. But here I wanted to talk to how to improve sales, because I know that if you're listening to this and you're in a business or you run a business, most likely you will need sales to survive. So here's the first step to really solidifying, creating certainty in your sales and helping you grow as you scale.